Good morning, everyone. I hope everyone is having a wonderful and exciting Saturday. Thank you for coming on. It's so nice to see so many participants today for today's training. Um, I miss doing these things so much. It's a shame I don't get more time, but so grateful you guys jumped on here this morning from wherever you are. I know we've got an extremely large number of people registered, so we're going to give it a minute or so for everybody to get registered, to get online. And I'm going to start recording right here. Just give me 1 second. There we go.
Recording in progress.
So again, good morning, everyone. Welcome to product training with yours truly, Jay. So I'm glad everybody's on the call. We're going to give it another minute until everybody comes online. It's going to be pretty intense today, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to cover a lot of information. For many of you, it might be repeat information, but that's okay. I'm a firm believer that we can't spend enough time learning about how to share the products, how to talk about the products, and what the best way is for us to recommend the product to the world, right? And that's the key. And so we're going to get started here in just one more minute. And also we're going to have some amazing draws, which is absolutely wonderful. Because I think it breaks it up a little bit, makes it a little bit more fun. So that's exciting. So here we go. Wow, still more people streaming in. So let's give it another minute. I want to start on time, but I also don't want people having to miss anything. And there's a bunch of people here. Hold on 1 second. Why is this? Okay. I think somebody's been messing with the chat settings. All right, here we go. You don't use Zoom as much as you used to. You forget all the little bells and whistles. So it's really glad you guys could all make it. So let's see who's in the town. Carrie's online. Michael, Terry, Karen, Stacy, Marcy, Janet, Joanne, Graham, Rose, Sigrid's on, Joetta, Kelly, Tiffany, my gosh, Janet, Dan, Lakshmi, Deborah, Kathy. Okay, you guys are going too fast. How you doing? Cindy, Alicia, Marlene, Debbie, Jewel, welcome. Tracy, welcome. Dana, welcome. Jen, welcome. Everybody, welcome. So good to have everybody on. So we're going to get started here right away. And welcome to everybody for that's taking time from your families this morning to join us. So today's call is going to be about product training and really what are the benefits of our different products and why is that so important. And there's not going to be a screen, so I'm just going to talk about it to you with the product in my hand. And really, it's just about conversations with our friends, our families, our network, strangers, and to see how we can best help everyone, right? I think that's the key. How do we best help everyone with our product? So let's start with, well, which patch should we start with? We should do a vote. It'll take forever. So, okay, we're going to start with our victory patch. You know what's so funny? It comes up upside down on that for some reason. So we're going to start with our victory patch. And so it's the orange patch, orange and blue patch, victory patch. So what's so amazing about our victory patch? So we say on this patch, athletic performance like never before. So what does that mean? Right? That means something for different people. Okay. Who's this designed for? So the victory patch is designed and created for individuals that are looking to take their personal physical performance to the next level. Okay, we're talking about high school athletes, collegiate athletes, weekend warriors, people that go to the gym, people that run regularly, that jog, that exercise, that cycle, that row, that do yoga, that have where physical activity, physical performance, or competition is a big part of their life, right? It's a passion for them. And psychodemographic research shows us that group of people is looking to be the best version of themselves, right? Because they're committed to their passion, whatever their passion is, even maybe they're professional athlete to their profession, and they want to reach the highest level. So what does this patch do? What does the Victory patch do? The Victory patch offers enhanced athletic performance. It offers more power, more strength, more balance and stability. We get enhanced stamina with this product, more agility. Obviously, there's enhanced neurofunction. We can show homeostasis of our overall neurology happening, much like the Liberty, but there is more muscle recruitment and more power output with the Victory patch. We have enhanced HRV. So people say, what's HRV, Jay? HRV is heart rate variability. Heart rate variability is a benchmark of overall vitality, right? And the better our heart rate variability, and it's not changing the rate of how our heart is beating. That's not what it is, okay? Heart rate variability is the changes not in the speed of our heart rate, but how it beats in regards to the beat before it. It's the changes in it. So the greater the heart rate variability, research shows the greater our vitality and overall health, right? And there's products out there like HeartMath and different things that look at our HRV, and we can show with our Victory patch that people reach the green zone of HRV with the product on, and they reach there very quickly. Okay, we also see, improvements in range of motion. We see improvements in relief from neuropathy. We see faster recovery. We see reduced inflammation. So when athletes or people that are performance oriented are working out, training, recovery is a big part of their regimen, right? So we have athletes that tell us that they don't have the soreness or stiffness after a strong workout that like they regularly would, which allows them to get either another workout in or train even harder the next day. So their baseline performance goes from really great to really fantastic very quickly. And we see that improvements in strength and power. So there's a hand grip dynamometer, and we can use these things. These are very inexpensive. You can get them on Amazon. They measure grip strength. So just like the Liberty patch, because there's improvements in balance and stability and improvements in grip strength, the Victory patch, relying on data and science that's out there, we know that in adults, if their balance and stability is higher and their grip strength is higher, that has a direct correlation to their longevity and vitality, right? And what you're actually seeing is the numbers are so fantastically great that we're actually reducing people's biological age, right? So if before I use that grip strength and I have the grip strength of a 53-year-old man, I put the patch on and I do the grip strength again, and guess what? My grip strength now is that of a 35-year-old man, right? And it works every time on every single person, right? So there's nothing in the world that's going to improve somebody's balance, stability, and strength immediately. We can immediately reduce anyone's biological age in 5 seconds. There isn't a product, a supplement, a therapy, any procedure that's going to do that. Okay, so why does anybody invest in health and wellness? Longevity and vitality. And we can give that immediately, like instantly. right? And so what does that mean? It means that we get less tired during the day. We can be more active during the day. We don't get, we don't have the cloud of fatigue over us or exhaustion that when we get home, we still have the energy to live a life with our families. And that's really critical for work-life balance. Now, so that's what the what Victory Patch does. And now we're going to go to the Liberty Patch. Okay. So again, what does it give us? More energy, more strength, more balance, more stability, better range of motion, higher neurological homeostasis. And again, this patch is more on the mobility side than the muscle recruitment side, more on the neurological balance side than the muscle recruitment side, right? So the Victory Patch is muscle recruitment, strength, power. The Liberty side is overall homeostasis. So more of everything, a little bit more of everything. And the Liberty Patch is really, how I describe it, is the iOS update on our neurology. We put that on, and I think we've all seen the brain maps of where a dysregulated neurology becomes regulated very, very quickly. And what that does is it puts our neurology, our autonomic system, our sympathetic and parasympathetic systems into homeostasis, into balance. And once we have balance in our neurology, we're going to get balance in our bodies. Okay? That's how that works. And then every other technology is going to work better. Not just our technologies, but our nutrition is going to be better. Our therapy sessions with our physios is going to be better if we're in recovery or from an injury. Our workouts are going to be better. Everything we do is going to be enhanced and better. So when people say, well, Jay, why do I need the Liberty Patch? It's not like I'm falling over. I go, it's not about falling over or tripping over because it improves your balance and your stability. The relevance of the Liberty Patch is that improved balance, stability, and strength means that our biological age is lower, that we have really the fountain of youth in this patch, that based on research done by others on a global level would show enhanced balance, stability, enhanced grip strength leads to a longer, more vitality life, right? And that's what everybody's promising. So whether we're looking at supplements or whether we're looking at, exercise regimens or yoga or anything else, or any vitamins or anything like that, everybody's using those things to live longer and live healthier. But none of those products are actually going to reduce the biological age of the person in 5 seconds, right? And why do I have the confidence to say that? The markers for biological age, other than blood work and DNA tests, 2 real simple tests that they use for biological age. 3 tests, but 2 are really easy. The other one, you need some more equipment. So 3 tests for biological age. Balance stability, grip strength, and HRV. Okay? Generally accepted by medicine, leading experts from around the world. Okay? That if you have better balance stability, you have better grip strength, and you have better HRV, your biological age is lower. Okay? And not just seeing in the evidence of what the product does for us. So that's why these patches are the anti-aging patches. I call them the anti-aging patches because they just give us that vitality of our youth back and the energy of our youth back. Okay. So the other thing that we'll just talk about, getting on to the next one, is people say, Jay, how do I get more energy? How do I get more energy? And what they're confusing, and some of us might be in this call, what people are confusing is the rush they get from caffeine or an energy drink, and they're calling that energy. Okay, we understand? That's not energy, right? The feeling that somebody gets from drinking a Red Bull or some other energy drink or drinking a cup of coffee or having a double shot of espresso to wake up, they feel more energetic, but that's actually not your body actually having more energy. You're still going to get tired. And what happens is when that sugar rush or that caffeine rush wears off, there's a crash. I think we all know that, right? All of a sudden, the person's way more tired or feeling way more exhausted than they were. And And so what caffeine is and what sugar is like putting nitrous oxide in our car. Okay? We get that short little rush, the short little buzz, like, oh, and it burns out and the car slows down and that's it. What these patches do, what the Liberty patch and the Victory patch do, it's like we have a bigger motor. We're not putting something in the fuel, we're actually changing the horsepower of the car. Right? The horsepower is here. Our mind controls everything. So if we've got more horsepower here, we're going to have more horsepower in our body. People are like, well, I don't feel anything working. I go, you're not going to feel it till you use it. Right? You're not going to feel it till you use it. You don't feel strong until you use your strength. Right? You don't know you're in balance until you almost lost your balance. Does that make sense? And that's why this is way better than any. And guess what? You don't have a crash after 3 or 4 hours. It's going to last you 24 hours without side effects, without a crash, without any addictive nature, any of those things. Right? That's why this technology is so amazing. It works and it stays working without side effects, without habituation, without any of those things happening. That's why this is so amazing. Okay, so that's why that's exciting. Sean, I get it. So maybe I got to think of another example besides the car, but that's really what we're doing. We're adding horsepower to our neurology, which adds horsepower to our body. Right? But all we're doing is putting an additive in the fuel. It runs out. And also, when you put an additive in the fuel, it's not so good for your car. Right? It's actually bad for your car because that's not how your body's designed. That's not how the car is designed. So, and this is a little bit off topic. I mean, there's some people out there, and somebody, and I don't want to offend anybody because you might be on this call. People out there selling these little tablets that you put in your fuel tank that's supposed to improve the mileage of your car. I would never do that because that is not how your car is designed to have that additive in there. Okay? It's not. Just like our body is not designed to absorb energy drinks or excess sugar or excess caffeine, right? Same type of thing. We need to naturally enhance ourselves with how it is already. And the best way to do it is upgrade the neurology, upgrade our physiology. Okay, so let's get to the next patch, which is our best-selling patch, and will be the best-selling patch probably globally very soon. It's our freedom patch, our pain patch. Okay, so what does our study show? What does our study show? Our study shows pain relief for the vast majority of people in under 20 minutes. Some people, it happens sooner. Some people, it takes a little bit longer. There's an average of a 72% reduction in pain. That's a big number. Now let's talk about comparatives now. Oral medication takes anywhere between half an hour and 45 minutes to kick in. This miraculous magical patch does that without drugs, chemicals, ingredients, electric shock therapy. It does it better and faster. And the relief lasts 24 hours. So if I've hurt my back because Majid had me do some gardening, he tries that sometimes, right? Back in the day, I'd have to take a couple of Advils or Tylenols, and then every 6 hours, if it wasn't better, I had to take it again and again. That's with every pill, right, guys? That's with every oral medication. That's with everything that you got to take it again and again and again and again. And we do it because we need relief. Pain is the great thief of our quality of life. Pain is one of the most horrible things in the world. And if we have a solution now that can relieve pain without drugs, chemicals, side effects, and offer people that based on what the study says, this works fantastically well. Okay. And so what does that mean? So first of all, we have to understand what are their alternatives. The alternatives are oral medications, injectables, or topical creams or topical patches. So these other things will apply some kind of chemical to our skin or inject us with some kind of drug like lidocaine or novocaine or whatever that is, or some kind of pain shot, or obviously going to give us a pill. The toxicity of oral medications and what it does to our liver and kidneys, there is a million articles online. You can go read it. If there weren't pain pills, we wouldn't have an opioid crisis. Okay. And I'm going to spend a little bit more time on this with you guys because I think it's important. We all need to understand this. There has been a massive, and what we're and this applies to actually everything that we make. Okay. It's to everything that we make, every product that we make. So the entire medical and healthcare system in the Western world, okay, is based on treating infectious diseases, bacteria and viruses. Okay. For the last 100 years, since penicillin, right? All the way through, we're great at making some kind of pill that does something that helps with some kind of infection or some other thing, right? We've wiped out measles, smallpox, rubella, diphtheria, rubella, you name it. Big things that caused big problems societally, right? Because infectious diseases were the big killers of people. But something's changed over the last 50 years. Maybe 30 years, but let's say 30 years. The needs of people have changed from, the paradigm shifted from infectious diseases to chronic conditions. Okay? The paradigm of the needs of the people have shifted from infectious diseases to chronic conditions. But the system that's supposed to support it is only built to deal with infectious conditions. That makes sense? So that's why they keep making pills, because that's all they know how to do, and that's all they want to do. So because all they do is make is pills, because all they have is that hammer, everything is a nail, meaning every condition needs to be solved with the pill. That's the system that's built globally, not just here. But the reality is the needs of our own needs, our family's needs, our friends' needs, societal needs have changed. And what it was one of the things, this is why we have an opioid crisis. They had chronic pain sufferers, and so they just built super painkillers with opioids and other stuff, and then we led to an opioid crisis. Okay? We got a different solution. You don't need opioids. You don't need oral medication. Let's talk about what's causing that chronic pain. The chronic pain, we know from research, ours and others, that pain is neurologically controlled. Right? Am I going to get rid of the source of the pain? Depends what the pain is. Right? So pain is inevitable, easy. I mean, we're going to have some kind of pain in our life. Suffering is optional. Addiction is optional. Quality of life is optional. Right? And so what we have is a solution that's completely changing how for their entire, and Teresa, we're going to talk about what you just said. So you have to imagine, we've got an entire population that their entire life, they've been taking a pill for one thing or another thing. Do you think that's compromising their bodies in any way? Do you think there's any residues of all those drugs and medicines they've been taking forever and ever and ever? I think so, right? And when we introduce this change to their quality of life of how it's working, sometimes people are like, I'm not used to this. Some people have a weird feeling, like, this is weird. I don't know how this is working, right? So our neurology, you have to guys understand, so this is what we have to understand. Our neurology, our mind, based on the most powerful computers we have right now, they've calculated that our mind works on 11 dimensions. Don't even ask me what that means because I can't even figure it out. But 11 dimensions is impossible to conceive for a human. This is done on supercomputers where they're talking about systems within systems and integrations within integrations to 11th degree of 11 dimensions of connectivity in our mind. I want you to understand this, how complex this is. And this is why I stay away from the science googly goo, because it doesn't help anybody. But when we have a lifetime of having a scrambled neurology, right? And now we put on the Liberty patch or one of our other patches, and we start unwinding those knots. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer. And sometimes that uneasiness is just the neuroplasticity, which is our mind reworking itself because it's going into places it's never gone before. Is anything bad going to happen? No. Why? We're not adding anything to the system. We're just smoothing out the bumps in the road. We're taking the static out of the system, right? So if you have somebody that puts on a patch that's feeling a little bit off, it's a real easy fix, right? They probably got a lot of unwinding to do on that tape. Okay, so what do I suggest? Use the patch in smaller bursts. Unwind it slowly, right? Wear it for a couple hours a day, wear it for 2 hours a day, an hour a day, 3 hour days, peel it off. Next day, wear it again, or later on, put on another patch. Because there's been a lifetime of stuff that's happened to get to them where they are, right? And when we try to take out the creases or the knots, depending on their overall healthy neurology, most people don't have a challenge with it because most people's neurology is okay. Some people's neurology is very compromised and we don't even know, right? But all they're feeling is that change physiologically. The homeostasis up here is leading to homeostasis in the body, and it's a different feeling for them, right? Some people say, well, it doesn't work for them. Well, it does work because the balance and stability works on every single person. Understand? Let me get this. You get to understand this. They can't say that. Nobody can say that to you. It doesn't work. This is why when you do the demonstration and their balance stability improves and nothing else in the world improves their stability and balance, the technology works, right? It might not be giving them what they're looking for. That's a different story. They might have some other issues that they don't even know about. But we know the technology works. We've tested it. The studies, there's no placebo here, right? And that's the case. And listen, if we talk about the freedom patch, for some people, morphine doesn't work. Do you understand? There's no 100% remedy for anything. Be clear? There is no 100% remedy for pain. Okay, number one. Number two, you have to give it time. The studies were done over 14 days, 7 days and 14 days. They have a 30-day money-back guarantee. Tell them to wear it. Okay, tell them to wear it. And they're going to see results. That's what the study shows. Are there some people that had more benefits than others? Absolutely. Just like everything else. Okay. This is what you have to understand. There is no 100% solution for 100% of the people that relieves their pain. There's nothing in the world that does that. Okay. Maybe anesthesia, so you can't feel it. We put you to sleep. Right. But cumulatively, they're going to get better and better and better and better. Just again, what we're doing is unwinding the knots in their neurology. We're smooth lining their neuromatrix of pain. We don't know how long it's been compromised. We don't know what's compromised it. So the brain is going to get, the mind is going to start working on it and working it forward. Vanessa, the patches are for 4 weeks. Works great for February. Okay, that's how this works. Everybody's neurological potential is different. Okay, let me say this again. Everyone's neurological potential is different. So how much someone's going to get better is going to be different person to person. Nothing we can do about that. Just like everyone's physiological potential is different. Not everybody can play NFL. No matter how much I might want to do that, there's no chance. Not everybody is going to be an Olympic 100-meter gold medalist. Right? Physiological potential. We also have a neurological potential. And it's absolutely true. And so the benefit anyone's going to get is going to be different. But when you do the demonstration, I've been at this a long time, ladies and gentlemen. I've been at this a long, I've dedicated 14 years of my life to this. Okay. And millions of dollars, not just in product development and the research to validate the science of the technology and the benefits. The balance and stability with the Victory patch and the Liberty patch works on every single person. It works on every single person, every single time. Okay? So no one can say to you, it's not working, but it is. Their acceptance is their own issue at that point, right? I mean, the reality is people will believe what they want to believe and not believe what they don't want to believe. But the irrefutable facts are that the demonstration shows that their balance, stability, and core strength is better. The research shows that their balance, stability is better. Okay? So it's critical we understand that. All right, so we're covered on those. Now we're going to talk about a REM patch. Okay. 7 out of 10 Americans wake up tired, not sleeping well. Okay. So this is why the REM patch, the sleep patch, the REM patch is important. Study shows people with bad sleeping habits or bad sleep issues see improvement in their sleep. Everyone's different. So the study's online, but I'll give you the highlights. Baseline, 78% of people said they had bad or very bad sleep after 2 weeks of wearing the patch. 80% said they had good or very good sleep. Okay, baseline. Baseline, average person was sleeping about 5 hours a night. After 2 weeks, they're sleeping about 6.5 hours a night. Baseline. Before they started using the patch, 80%, 85% were getting up 3 times in the middle of the night to take a pee break. After 2 weeks, 15% are waking up in the middle of the night to take a pee break. Baseline. That's a complete different person at the end of 2 weeks. It's a completely different person at the end of 2 weeks. Because what you're allowing them to do is sleep. And when people, and why is that important? Because when people can't sleep, it's just the beginning of a whole bunch of other problems. Okay? Now, why can't they sleep has a million other issues as well, right? So if somebody says, I'm not sleeping well, I would ask, how long has it been since you've slept well? Is it weeks, days, weeks, months, years? It's going to give you a good idea of how long their neurology has been miswired. And it might give you an indication of how long it might take for them to see some benefits. The study was 2 weeks. So don't do a 2 days test or give somebody a patch and say, well, wear it for a couple of days. Tell them to wear the dang thing for 2 weeks. Okay? Give it a shot for 2 weeks. Now, why aren't they sleeping well? Is it because of pain? They have a hard job or they have some kind of pain in their body? They might need the freedom patch. Are they stressed out about something? They might need the peace patch. right? These are the things that make a difference, right? And again, no solution is 100%. What does that mean? Not 100% of the people are going to get 100% of the benefits. Why? Everybody's neurological potential is different, and everybody's baseline neurology has gone through their own life to get where they are. So some things get better, some things take longer to get better, but there is an improvement every single time. Okay, that's what we have to understand. And the improvement, and what's an improvement? Improvement can be 1% or 100%, 1% or 5%, 0.5% or 10%. You know what I mean? So better is better, right? And so what are the alternatives to our sleep patch? Sleeping aids, melatonin, other pills, and things that can help people fall asleep, right? And then use the patch as it's needed. So depends on how much sleep they want to get, right? Some people function great on 6-hour sleep. Some people need 8-hour sleep. Some people need 7-hour sleep. I think that's, you can't categorize that. What we want to offer them is better sleep, better than they have right now. Okay. And the other thing they found with this patch is people that have trouble sleeping. So on average baseline, these are people that had actual sleep issues. So baseline, it was taking them 69 minutes to fall asleep, if I recall correctly from the study. After 2 weeks, they're falling asleep in half an hour. That's a marked improvement in how fast they're falling asleep. It's a 50% plus reduction in how fast they're falling asleep. Okay. But we have to understand, ladies and gentlemen, this is not a drug. This is not a chemical, right? This is an alternative so they don't have to take the chemical, where they can work on their body and their mind and the mind-body connection to get to a place where they don't need as many pills and potions and supplements and different things to attain the quality of life that they need, right? That's why this is important. That's why these products are so revolutionary. And again, people say, well, I would always ask, compared to what? They say it's too expensive. Compared to what? Right? Compared to what? Because if everything else has a side effect or a risk attached to it, then that's also a cost, right? You can't only talk about the benefits. You also have to talk about the pros and cons of every solution and get a real answer, right? Yeah, people have to be willing to evaluate, yeah, I'm going to take this melatonin, it's going to help me fall asleep. Okay, and then when you wake up groggy, how does that impact your life? When your body develops dependence on you taking melatonin as opposed to producing its own melatonin, stops producing melatonin, and then what are you going to do? Compared to what? Compared to what? I just take 2 Tylenols for my pain. Okay. And then what are you going to do about the detox your liver? What? There's a cost attached to that. Everything has a plus minus. What's the side effect of your product? It doesn't have one. So the cost is the cost. The benefits are here, right? We have to be ultimately very comfortable understanding what we're offering the world. It's a compared to what conversation, right? It's a compared to what every single time. Why is this special? Compared to everything else, we have drug-free, risk-free solutions for the biggest health and wellness challenges in the world, right? You see those ads on TV that tell you about this new drug that's coming out and blah, blah, blah. And it goes, oh, by the way, these are the 1 million side effects you have. Guess what? You don't have 1 million side effects. Think about this. And we're going to go a little bit deeper on this. This compared to what conversation? If pills, if drugs didn't have side effects, wouldn't this world be fantastic? So imagine this. Imagine here was a pill. I don't even have a pill in my office. Imagine, I got a battery. Imagine this was a pill for pain, okay? And this was a pill pain. And I said, hey, here's a pill. It might help 70% of the time. This pill is going to work within 20 minutes, and most people are going to find relief in under 20 minutes. And the vast majority of people get relief, about 70% reduction in their pain in under 20 minutes. Okay. This is a pill, right? And this benefit, this relief is going to last you 24 hours, and there's no side effects. Does it sink in? Hey, gang, I got this new pill. Study shows that it can relieve pain up to about 70% of the study that showed in under 20 minutes, and there's no side effects. It might not give you 70% of the relief or 100% of the relief that would be the perfect solution. But compared to those other pills that have all these side effects and are bad for your liver and bad for your kidneys and bad for your colon and bad for your intestine and become a habit and you can get addicted to, you can't get addicted to this pill. It doesn't do anything to your colon or your liver or your kidneys. You want to try this pill? How does that sound? How does that sound? That's the comparative. That's the comparative. Right? That's the comparative. Is it? So we're going to say, listen, it might not give you all the relief you want, but what if it did? Think about it. If this was a pill, imagine a drug. This is so weird. Imagine a drug-free pill. Is there such thing? No. Think of it as a drug-free pill. Help people think of it. Say, imagine if this was a pill. But there's no side effects to it. Right? And that applies to all of our patches. Right? That applies to all of our patches. Right? And that's what separates from every other solution in the world. Right? So the sleep patch. Hey, imagine if you could try something that could, the study show helps people fall asleep sooner, stay asleep, and not get up in the middle of the night, and they wake up refreshed and energetic, and they prefer it actually over oral medication because that's what the study showed. And it can help you get better sleep without side effects and without waking up groggy. Would you want to give it a shot? Yeah, I'd give it a shot. But you got, listen, the best results are over 2 weeks. You're going to give it a shot for 2 weeks? These are the things we have to think about. These are the conversations we need to have. It's compared to what? What are you doing for your sleep right now? I'm taking melatonin. Oh, of course you must know all the side effects of melatonin, right? And they're like, what? No. No. Robert, the study was for 2 weeks because you can't do a 4-week study. But all of the patches work to some degree instantly. It's for people finding the maximum benefit. And that was only related to the sleep patch. I know people that wear the sleep patch, they sleep in 10 minutes, right? This is why the technology is so fantastic. We go back to what I said. Everybody's neurological potential and neurological status baseline is different because of the life they've lived. But we got to unwind it and get it back to homeostasis, get it back to factory reset, get it back to normative function. Okay, that's key. So let's go to our next patch. Focus patch, real simple. We can show in clinical data that it completely optimizes our attention network, our ability to focus on the task at hand. So who's this great for? This is great for kids. It's great for people that have detailed work environments where they have to focus on a lot of data, a lot of information that requires deep thinking, right? It's great for kids because right now attention spans are completely obliterated. The average attention span for a college student right now is 90 seconds, ladies and gentlemen. 90 seconds. That means they can't even listen to a song. Forget about a lecture. Forget about their homework. Forget about their job. Forget about anything that they have to do. 90 seconds. They can't even listen to a song. Okay. And younger kids is even less. So let's give our grandchildren, our children, our friends a chance to, and their children a chance to reclaim their focus. And what took away the focus? Cell phones, the apps on our cell phones, the social media apps and the algorithms took away their focus, stole it. These algorithms are designed to make them not focus on anything and just focus on the different apps. So they're just switching between one app and another app, and that's where their brain gets stuck. Right? So that's the key. So Kathy Hewlett, they're getting better sleep. Just think about what you wrote. They're having better sleep is better sleep. Deeper sleep is better sleep. Right? Because what's compromising your sleep is different. Okay, so the focus patch works on our attention network. It gets us out of this disoriented clustering of moving from one thing to another thing, and within 20 minutes, there's this zone where they're completely focused on the task at hand, whether it's music, whether it's work, whether it's homework, whether it's studying, whether it's exam prep, it doesn't matter. If you know anybody interested in the success of their kids in school or whatever other thing that they're pursuing, it could be music, it could be sports, I can tell you right now, matter of fact, 99% of kids, attention is compromised. Completely. Okay? Compromised. We got to help them bring it back. Flow patch. This is really a super duper complicated product. So what does the flow patch do? Yeah, yes, Dolores, there's no interaction with pacemakers because there's no electricity in our patches. The only electricity that's in anybody with a pacemaker is the battery inside that pacemaker. We don't interfere with that. So the flow patch regulates 5 different neural networks. Executive function, which is decision-making, problem-solving, the high-level logical stuff at the front of our brain. There's a neural network for executive function. It optimizes memory networks. It optimizes attention networks. It optimizes the information flow network. And it optimizes the mood network. Okay? 5 networks. Why is that important? When those 5 networks are working normatively or as close to as normatively as we can get them, that means on a cognitive scale, we are performing better cognitively. Okay? We are performing better cognitively when all those 5 networks are working better. And you don't need to know what those networks are because no one does, right? None of you are doing brain research, I hope. It's not what you're supposed to do, right? Telling you what the patch does. And when those cognitive networks are aligned and working optimally, what do we see? We see higher cognitive improvement. We see less cognitive impairment. So if somebody is having cognitive challenges, this is when we use them. This is when we recommend this patch. Okay? And cognitive impairment and cognitive challenges, there's so many of them. So it's not for any specific thing. We didn't test this for any specific cognitive, emotional thing. We tested the data and the neurology to see if we could impact those cognitive networks. And the answer is yes. Vanessa, I adore you, but you're going to get lost in all the gobbledygook of the science. Okay? Trust me, because the people are going to ask you, what is the memory network? What is the attention network? What is the information flow network? What is the executive function network? What is, the default network? They're going to keep asking you more and more questions. And I don't want you getting stuck trying to explain the interaction between different neural networks and Brodmann areas and all those different things. I'm just telling you, you will get in trouble. Everyone here on this call, you will get in trouble if you try to become a neuroscientist. Right? Doesn't help. Trust me. All people don't need to know, and they don't want to know. When was the last time somebody asked the composition of a pill they're taking? Think about that. Right? So what does this help with? If somebody needs help with cognitive function, do it. Okay, what else? If you have a high demanding job that's neck up, or people that it's neck up and they're tired at the end of the day because they're mentally exhausted, which leads to physical exhaustion, try it. If you want to maintain your cognitive performance, wear it. Okay, maintenance is a big thing. Before our body goes, our mind goes. Okay? This is why this is key. Right? So cognitive impairment, cognitive maintenance, cognitive performance. You use this patch. Okay, that's why this is very key. Let's keep going. Pen patch. This is a super complex product. I remember when I started working on this patch. I started working on this patch in 2019, before the COVID thing ruined the world. This patch, I'll give you the technical description of what this patch does. Okay. This patch harmonizes. What does harmony mean? It balances and restores the HPA axis. Okay. The hypothalamic, pituitary, adrenal axis. This is the neuroimmune connection between our mind and our body. And the information that our body, the neurological information that our body sends when it's under stress, attack, the HPA axis responds with different neurological functions for our body to deal with those challenges. Okay? Those stressors could be almost anything. Could be an infection, could be a virus, could be an injury, could be anything. It's sending different signals to our HPA axis. If our HPA axis has been compromised, and what compromises the different neural networks in our body, ladies and gentlemen, real simple: injury, illness, genetics, our environment, chemicals, drugs, things we've consumed, emotional trauma, psychological, all those different things impact our neurology every second. Okay. And over time, they get stuck and they stop working. So the Defend patch helps bring that back online, helps restore that. So our mind and so our brain and so our mind and immune, the neuroimmune connection, the loop that it is, starts working better, starts working better, starts working better, starts working better. So what does that mean? That means we're going to recover from whatever we're dealing with better, faster. Okay? It's giving our body the ability to deal with stressors and different things better. Because the better the mind-body connection is, the better we are able to deal with it. Okay. So this is the key, because our body is going to respond to different things coming into it. And if our neuroimmune system is better integrated, we're going to get better results. So people say, what does it help people with? Well, we see live blood analysis. All of a sudden, we don't have roulettes in our blood. Our red blood cells become better oxygenated. They're better flowing. There's less thickness, less stickiness to it, which is great, because if that's improved, that means everything in our body is going to improve eventually over time, right? Neurologically, we see dysregulation in that HPA axis go from dysregulated to normal operation. It takes about 20 minutes for that to completely, on the neurological mapping side, at least, for me to see that. So what does this mean? This is your recovery patch. This is your protect your body, protect your health patch. This is their maintenance patch. It was a better way to say it. Right? That's what this is. It's absolutely keeps our body in check, make sure we're functioning 100%. So I wear 3 patches every day. I wear Liberty, I wear Defend, and I wear Flow. Same patches my mom wears every day. Do I need to? Yeah, I do. Why? Because I want to maintain my quality of life. Right? I have a high stressful, high demanding, cognitively challenging job. Right? I need this. Right? I focus on insane amounts of information every hour. Okay. I wear my Liberty patch because that's the patch for me. Gives me my energy level, puts me in neurological homeostasis, physiological homeostasis. I feel great. I'm not playing football or basketball, so I don't need the victory patch. I just use this. Gives me everything that I need. And I wear the Defend patch to make sure that all the different challenges that come through life, whether it's injuries or fatigue and all those other things, I maintain all the benefits of my other stuff. So that's how I do it. Okay, so that's the key. So let's get to the next patch. Peace patch for stress. Stress might be the #1 cause of health issues in North America, because people don't know how to process stress. Anybody remember that class in school where they told the stress management class? You guys take that class? I didn't have that class. Did you have it in university? I didn't have it in university. Right? Stress is the #1 cause of health issues in North America, probably the Western world. Okay? Because most people actually don't know how to deal with stress, psychological trauma, emotional trauma. They don't know how to deal with it. And it winds up the different networks in our head, in our mind. Okay. So how do we bring them calm? How do we calm down the stress network? How do we balance out the sympathetic and parasympathetic? Right? Every network, and this is why we know that stress is the #1 causer of all these different health issues, whether it's hypertension, blood pressure, chronic pain, mental pain. There's a bunch of stuff going on. So our limbic system, which is our emotional response to our physiology and our environment, okay? Every single network, neurological network, has some connection to our limbic system. Let me say that again. Every single network, in our mind, every neurological network has a connection to our limbic system, which manages our emotional response, the reflexive response to our environment and our body. So you would think it would make absolutely the most sense to make sure that if our limbic system is not in balance, and if it's not overstressed, to get it calm and get it at rest. And that's what the peace patch does. In 20 minutes, people sense calmness, that whatever they're dealing with, it's okay. And they get through it. Okay. Stress is a horrible thing. And most people don't even know they're stressed. That's the scary part. Right? Most people don't even know they're stressed. Like, I'm just worried about this. They're stressed, and they've probably been stressed for a long, long, long period of time. And what happens is when it's exhaustive stress or duration of stress, it leads to other issues. It leads to metabolic issues. It leads to hypertension issues. It leads to things like diabetes. It leads to congestive heart issues. There's a lot of horrible things that come out from prolonged stress, and people don't know how to deal with it other than a pill, right? Here's some Xanax or whatever they're prescribing these days for pills, okay? And what do they have to lose? Put the peace patch on. Try it out for a week. See how they feel. I know they're going to feel great because we can show in clinical settings that their stress network, their limbic network, and their mood network is completely calmed down. That they can manage whatever stressors they're dealing with without necessarily, having it compromise all the other physiological and neurological functions in their bodies. This is why the peace patch is amazing. Okay. Next patch, Ignite patch. Okay, Ignite patch, we can show with data that you put this patch on, we're going to optimize the person's resting metabolic rate. Our resting metabolic rate is how many calories we burn at rest. So when we're not doing physical exertion, right? When we're at rest. So why is that important? Because that's how we spend most of our time, is not in physical exertion, unless you have one of those jobs which require constant physical exertion. It's still going to work then, so you're actually going to burn more calories during physical exertion if you're burning more calories at rest. That's just a natural byproduct. So what does this do? It optimizes the energy consumption in our body. Okay. Most of us are storing energy all over our body that we're not using at the right time or in the right way. So if we can neurologically control that energy consumption by allowing our body to use the energy that's already there, we're going to burn more of that energy. Like, I'm not feeling hungry. Yeah. The reason you're not feeling hungry is because your body doesn't need extra energy put into your mouth or into your belly. It's realizing there's energy stores all over the place, and it starts using those, and it doesn't trigger that energy demand to your brain. That's how this works. Isn't that amazing? So your body starts using the energy that's already stored there and starts burning more calories. Think about it. How are you burning more calories if you ate less food? How are you going to burn more calories without eating more food? Use the calories that are already stored in your body. Easy ones first. Right? Easy ones first. And that's what this patch does. Right? So people say, well, you know what? Hey, I feel like I have more energy, but I'm not have those crazy cravings for more calories, and you're burning more calories. Okay. Does this mean the person's going to lose weight? Maybe, if they don't increase their calorie intake, right? Somebody puts on the peace patch, starts eating twice as much, not going to work, right? That's what this patch does. It helps burn more calories at rest. So you'll burn more calories at sleep. You'll burn more calories at your desk. You'll burn more calories watching Netflix. You'll burn all of those calories, more of those calories, without getting on the treadmill, without getting on the Stairmaster, right? And that's really, isn't that the best? Do nothing, burn more. That's what this patch is. Okay. Next patch. Joy patch. How many of us, virtually, how many of us believe we are what we think? Okay. Yes? I need a yes from everybody. We are what we think? Right? Too much science out there that shows the power of positive mental attitude. Too much research, irrefutable research, that our positive outlook and our positive mindset completely changes the direction and quality of our life. Right? We all believe it. But what is it? What are those hurdles? This is the key. What are those hurdles of everyone having a positive mental attitude? And most people don't even know they don't have a positive mental attitude. That's the other thing. Most people don't even know they don't have a positive mental attitude, which is really funny. I give them a small test, and I said, tell me about the last 10 things that made you unhappy, and they give you a big list of things that that they complained about. And I go, yeah, positive attitude. Like, what do you mean? I said, positive people will struggle to find 2 things they complain about. Right? So where does that come from? So what is that neurology of that dynamic optimism, that dynamic positivity, which says that rising spirit inside them, they're saying it's going to be great, it's going to be good, I'm going to be fantastic, this is going to be wonderful. Where does that come from? Right? It's neurological. It's in our mind. It's in our conscious patterns of our mind. So what the joy patch does is, it just like positive mental attitude, there's a negative mental attitude. Okay? Does that make sense? Just like there's a positive mental attitude and there's a neurological blueprint for that positive mental attitude, there's also a blueprint for a negative mental attitude. And we want to go from negative to positive. So it's just a neurological bridge. So what this patch does, it puts a drawbridge, all that the bridge that goes to the negative side, it just disrupts that thinking. It disrupts that neurological, because it's hardwired, right? Over time, like having a negative attitude, it doesn't happen overnight. Babies are not born negative. Are we clear? Babies aren't born with a negative mental attitude. Babies are blissful. Babies know no limits. They don't know anything. They just want food. They want to be hugged. They want to be comfortable. Right? That's what they want. They don't know. And when they don't get what they want, they cry a little bit. Like, oh, give me some food. Pick me up. Give me some love. That's all they want. Okay? So all of this other stuff. So where does this happen? Where does this negative mental attitude, where does this programming happen? It happens from the minute we're born to about 6 years old. Scary, right? By 7, it's too late. From the minute we're born, right up to about 6. Some people say 7, I say 6. By that time, that's the attitude. That's their general, that's that child's general outlook on life. Their attitude is built. And it's going to be the autopilot of their life for the rest of their life until they make some drastic changes to change. Okay? So there's more to this. Okay? And that happens because kids absorb everything. They have this hypnagogic state, and there's a lot of theta waves in their brains, and they're just absorbing, and all these patterns are building. And it's going really great. And then all of a sudden, bang, they wake up, 6 years old, and they're set. They're set. that mindset is set until they actually realize it is, and they do a lot of work to get it. And what you got to do is you got to actually, to unprogram that, you got to get them back to the hypnagogic state. That's one thing that this patch does. The other patch, what it does is it heightens those. Okay, so let me say this way. Our default settings are to be happy and optimistic. You understand? Our default setting is to be happy, optimistic, with a rising spirit. Right? Ascension is our default setting. Does that make sense? Our default setting is to rise. Make sense? But it's been clouded and jumbled up by all the stuff that our parents, our teachers, and a bunch of other people with best intentions who didn't know what they were doing messed us up. Okay? So we're going to reset it. We're going to give people that chance to realize their true selves. Their true self of that optimistic, happy, hopeful person that feels that no matter what obstacles or their station in life, that they're destined and deserve and will have better. And it's all mental. So when we take a baseline of somebody, it's a little sad, not feeling up to it. We put this patch on. In minutes, we see a sad brain become a happy brain. We see a dejected brain become a hopeful brain. Because we can say whatever we want, we can't change our neurology, right? We can't cheat the brain. We can't, it's in charge. We can't overcome it. And there's a lot of things for that. Listen. This patch is an amazing, amazing patch. Okay. If you don't have it, go online and get it right now. Trust me. Trust me. Please. Trust me. It will change how you see your life and how you see your place in the world. And it'll happen so fast, you won't even realize the potential that's in front of you, your children. If you put this on your kids, you want happy, hopeful, ambitious kids? You want those for your grandkids, your kids? Put them on this patch. Trust me. Put it on there. Put it on them. If you don't have it, get it. Okay? I will tell you, try this patch. It's wonderful. Last patch of the day. Kick it patch. It is, we can probably change the quality of life of millions of people just with this patch, just with a kick it patch. Why? Because the kick it patch helps people overcome their bad habits. And how does that work? How does that work? Okay. So a habit has some precursors to it. The first step in any habit is intention. Then comes a thought. Then comes action, and then becomes repeated action. And that becomes a habit. Okay? The connection between intention and thought, there's a neural bridge. There's some neurology that's happening there. Some information that's being passed back and forth. Between thought and action, there's some information being passed back and forth. Between action and repeated action, there's some information being passed back and forth. And this is the key, what we figured out. The neural information of an intention that's actually beneficial is not the same as of one that's not. Sounds weird, right? We're going to go to the 11 dimensions of our mind. So when somebody wants to do something, consciously they know they shouldn't do that. Somebody wants to gamble. Consciously, out of that intention, there's a conflict. They know they shouldn't. And we know what that conflict looks like neurologically. It's just some neural code. We can disrupt that. That's what this patch does. It stops that. If they really don't, if they consciously believe that they shouldn't do that, there has to be a desire and a conscious desire not to want to do that. Whether they express it or not is a different story. If somebody doesn't believe that gambling is bad for them, then this patch is not going to help them quit gambling. Understand? Because there's no conflict between their intention and their thought and their action. No, the patch is not going to want you to want to not smoke, Cindy. You have to want to not smoke. It's a difference. Okay? If there's no conflict between the intention and the thought, it's completely aligned that that's what you want to do and you're okay and you don't care, this is what makes you happy, then you're going to do it. But if you don't do it, if you don't want to do it, then this patch is going to help because it disrupts the intention to thought. It's going to disrupt the thought to action and the action to repeated action. And what you see over time, right, and that can happen overnight. Let's be this clear. It's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen overnight. So you got to wear it. This is what this doesn't come in a 4-pack. It comes in 20. You got to wear it for a month. And you have to, the person has to decide what they don't want to do. Okay, that's why this is key. This is why this is so key. And that's what the promise of these patches are, ladies and gentlemen. So that's, I know the training went an hour and 15 minutes here, but I think, and you gotta use it. But the one thing I'll tell you guys is don't try to become a neuroscientist. What you want to talk about are the benefits. Hey, you want to try it for this? Try for this. And the other thing that I notice in the questions here is we can't use the names of conditions. Okay, because we didn't test it for fibromyalgia. We didn't test it for these different types of things. We didn't do that. Okay, we have to talk about only the benefits. So there's something posted online, talks about the benefits of the super patches. We can, anything that's on that sheet that's online that's posted there, you can say. You can say it. Okay, you can use it, and you're not going to get in trouble, right? Because this is the other thing, guys. Compliance. We are FDA registered. We cannot play games. We cannot start promising treatments or cures for things. We don't do that. Okay, we don't do that, right? It's on my Super Patch Biz website. Is posted there. Your leaders probably have it, probably in the back office. This is why this is so important. Please, 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 please don't do that. Oh, the prices come down. I mean, I made everybody wait. I was going to break it up, but I was on a roll. This is why it's so clear. This is why it's so important. We don't say things that are out of line. Okay, so we're gonna do some random names here. I hope everybody's still on the call. Okay, so I'm gonna just print everybody's list. I'm just gonna randomly put so the first prize, we're gonna do 5 prizes. The winners are gonna get a sample pack of every patch. So you're gonna get 12 packs of patches or 11 packs of patches. So the first winner, bang. Okay. Is Paula Rudd on the call? Paula, you're a winner. That was great. So I hope Paula's on the call. Second one. Okay, who do we have here? Is Carol Wright on the call? Carol, you're a winner. All right, Paula, you won. Good for you. Okay, next winner. Magical wheel here. Bang. Okay. I don't know this person. Sandy Giller. Sandy, are you on the call? You are a winner as well. Okay, one more. No, we're going to do two more. Wow. We're just having fun. Let's go. Bing, 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 bing. Jewel Toes. Jewel, I know you're on the call. Congratulations. All right. 1, 2, 3. One more. Let's see. Who's it going to be? 10 more. Carrie Holland, you're going to bankrupt me. All right. Emma Govender. Emma, you are a winner. All right. Get one more. This is fun. It's giving away product. Nancy Menard. I never spoken to Nancy, but Nancy, you are a winner as well. So congratulations to our winners. Nancy Menard, Paula Rudd, Jewel Toes, Sandy Giller, Emma Govender, and Carol Wright. So each one of you guys is going to get a 4-pack of all the patches, and then you're going to get the Kick It patch as well, and the Ignite patch. So congratulations. Thank you for joining. I hope you all had a great time. I know it was long, and it was a lot of information, but I think this is what makes it worthwhile for you guys to have as much information as you can get. Okay, so that's it. And I will see you guys really soon. I got to talk to Steve. We got to do some more fun stuff next Saturday as well. So listen, everybody have a great weekend. Thank you. And I'll see you guys soon. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.